Welcome to NewsOK TV. I'm Dave Morris. Lots of good videos ahead on this week's show. We'll visit Big 12 Media Days for some college football action. We'll visit Beverly's and Harold's, two blasts from the past. The OCU library is moving. And how much money did this year's Memorial Marathon raise? A dozen videos in the next 30 minutes. Let's press play. First up, our crew was in Dallas last week as the coaches and players from the Big 12 college football team spoke to the media. Bob Stoops' Sooners aren't taking the easy route to the four-team national playoff, instead continuing to schedule some of the most prolific programs in college football. Here's Damon Fontenot with more.
The Sooners are the overwhelming favorite to win the Big 12 this season and a popular pick to end up in the four-team championship playoff. That doesn't mean Oklahoma is taking the easy way out. As has become habit under athletics director Joe Castiglione, Oklahoma has scheduled a dangerous non-conference foe with a big name. After playing Miami, Florida State, and Notre Dame in the past 5 years, this year it's Tennessee that will visit Owen Field.
We feel it challenges our program. We feel it helps, it gives us going into the conference schedule. It helps us be prepared for it, playing these challenging games. It's good for college football and our fans like it. So for all those reasons, we've been willing to take that chance and play these kind of games. And our record in them is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it helps everybody. I mean, it helps the school, it helps the player individually, it helps the team. It makes everybody look good. And man, I love playing those big games like Notre Dame or when we played Alabama, or when we played Florida State back in the day. I mean, those big games is what makes OU. It makes us, and it's just a great feeling.
Well, we've got elite talent here in the Big 12, but to, get outside the Big 12 and play some of those other powerhouses, it's fun. You grow up watching, games from all over the country, seeing big-time players come from schools like that, so it's what you dream of. I'm excited to host Tennessee this year. That'll be a big one. Got to meet their quarterback a few weeks ago as well. Great guy, and so, you live to play in big games like that, even outside of your conference games.
It excites all me as a head coach, our players, coaches. It excites everyone when you have those kind of atmospheres to travel to Notre Dame last year, to travel to Florida State. When they're on our campuses, everybody, it's a big weekend when we have those. So they're pretty specials. We've been down to Alabama and them up to ours, place a few years ago, and people still talk about it, about the experience of those weekends. So, and I'm sure the same thing will be coming with Tennessee, Ohio State, and on and on and on.
And Bob is not exaggerating there. These big games don't exactly sneak up on anyone. While Ohio State is right around the corner in 2016 and 17, the Sooners' recently announced matchup against Michigan is 11 years away. Oklahoma kicks off the season August 30th against Louisiana Tech. Tennessee visits 2 weeks later on September 13th. Reporting from Big 12 Football Media Days in downtown Dallas, Damon Fontenot, NewsOK Sports.
And our Barry Trammell pulled Stoops aside for a few more minutes, talking with the head coach about the progression of Trevor Knight and Sterling Shepard.
Welcome to Big 12 Media Days. Barry Trammell here with Bob Stoops. And Bob, lots of expectations for the 2014 season. You got a couple of offensive playmakers you can rely on. One, Trevor Knight played so well in the Sugar Bowl. And then Sterling Shepard, a veteran receiver. Tell us about Trevor, the progress he's made, especially coming off that Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, I think now it's settling into the position. He knows Blake has a home at tight end that's really fit him well, and it's good for him. Frees Trevor up. Now with the experience from a year ago, all the repetitions going into the Sugar Bowl, being the starting quarterback and getting those repetitions. Now all through winter and spring, summer, it's really allowed him just to be more consistent. He's developing. He's gotten stronger. So that naturally, the ball flight, everything is stronger, quicker. So in every way, people forget maybe that redshirt freshman a year ago. So it takes some time to progress in this position, and I really believe he's going to really take a big step this year.
You coaches talked about his potential, what you saw on the practice field. Took a while for us to see it, but we saw it at Kansas State, and then we saw it big time at Alabama. When you see a guy actually do it on the field, does that just give a guy more confidence that, hey, I've done it before, I can do it again?
I don't think there's any question. He'll be much more comfortable having all that game experience a year ago and then playing well in such a big stage just to grow from it, and I really believe he will.
Meanwhile, challenges abound for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. A troubled summer will be followed by a stiff early test as the Cowboys face off against the Florida State Seminoles in Dallas to kick off their season. Once again, here's Damon Fontenot.
It's been a turbulent offseason for Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy, mostly due to the legal trouble surrounding true freshman running back Devin Thomas. But on the field, the Cowboys also will face a major obstacle. They have only 10 starters returning, and it figures to be a steep learning curve as Oklahoma State kicks off the season against Heisman Trophy winner Jameis Winston and the defending national champion Florida State Seminoles.
Well, it'll be a big challenge for our team, but they're very excited. One advantage to an opener against a very good football team, much less the national champion and returning Heisman Trophy winner, is motivation is there, and they've worked hard this summer. I can't imagine that we'll have any issues motivating them in practice in the month of August when it gets really hot and they get fatigued. They'll be able to push through it. They're obviously a great football team. They've got a number of players other than the quarterback that are somebody going to be playing on Sundays.
Oh, you just go into it like it's another game, It's just like we opened up Mississippi State last year. They were a good team going in. It was on a big stage, but now we're playing for the national champion, defending national championships, and the defending the Heisman winner. So, and we have a bunch of young guys, so we kind of got to get the ball rolling fast. Kind of let them know that hey, it's going to be on a big stage. Everybody has a chance to make a name for themselves. So it's going to be a real fun experience.
So we shall see if youth is served when Oklahoma State takes on Florida State in the Cowboys Classic in Cowboy Stadium in Dallas, Texas at 7 p.m. on August 30th. Reporting from Big 12 Football Media Days in Dallas, Texas, Damon Fontenot, NewsOK Sports.
Meanwhile, we caught up with OSU offensive coordinator Mike Yurcich to talk about summer workouts and the leadership of J.W. Walsh.
As you look at what you have here, I mean, the outsiders say, oh, you got a lot of receivers, you have some good running backs. How do you see the personnel that you have? I mean, obviously,
a lot's going to sort out throughout camp. I don't think we can sit here and have a crystal ball and say it's going to be this or that. I think we have a lot of skill around us. We've done a great job recruiting. I think we've done a great job at the quarterback position, building depth there, running back depth, and our versatility at receiving as a receiving core. So. Coach Conley, we have a lot of confidence in him. He's a veteran guy, and we know that we're going to find five to be able to fight and play tough up front, and I think we'll be just fine. The system is in place, and our guys, although at some positions a little bit inexperienced, they understand the system and they know it. So as long as we understand ball security and bringing great effort every day and getting better, I think we'll be just fine.
Plenty of content from the Big 12 Media Days can be found online at NewsOK.com. And both OU and OSU are holding their own Media Days this Saturday. Look for more out of Norman and Stillwater over the weekend. Coming up, did the Memorial Marathon reach its goal of raising $1 million? And how do you move a library? These answers straight ahead.
Shooting more photos at each assignment, but we're putting those into separate galleries that can be added into the iPad and online editions so that the viewers can see a lot more photographs. We can tell a lot more of the story visually, give them more detailed shots, more overall shots, just a lot more variety that really enriches their experience.
From $50,000 its first year to close to $1 million last year, the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon continues to seek more money to raise its threshold. This past week, sponsors of the Memorial Marathon were treated to an appreciation luncheon, and here's Kerry Watkins to tell us more as they eclipse the $1 million mark this year.
The first marathon gift was $50,000, and so we've grown that substantially each year, and we were very close to $1 million last year. We just kept looking for ways that we could take in-kind services, raise a little bit more cash, cut costs where we could, and have the level of race in which we wanted, and we're at the $1 million mark. Now we got to stay there and keep growing it. I mean, the threshold gets higher every year. You know, it is, I'd say, one of the top 12 marathons in the country. We want it to be the signature race for Oklahoma City. So it's like the Boston Marathon, the New York City Marathon. We want it to be the Memorial Marathon for Oklahoma City, what those races are to those cities. And we think it's there. We just want to make it stronger and better each year. We're putting beds and heads in hotel rooms. We're bringing people in from, dozens of states. We just want to keep growing it. And we can do that both by Oklahoma City folks in the metro area, people from across the state, and bring people in from all different countries and different states. I think the only state we lacked this year was Delaware, so we're going to find someone from Delaware and go after it. And so what we receive today helps offset operations and helps maintain the Memorial Museum. And so the grass, the lights, the keeping up the pool, I mean, all those things that you see. Ironically, it cost us about $1 million to operate the outdoor site of the memorial. We don't get any income from that. So it really offsets operations of the Memorial Museum.
Congrats to all involved with the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon. It is a tremendous event. Very hardworking people who really care. And if you haven't ever seen the marathon in person, it's a very inspiring event. After more than a year of preparations, the OCU Library Collection is making the move to the new home of the OCU School of Law in downtown Oklahoma City.
Today we're beginning the second day of the move of the books downtown to Oklahoma City University School of Law's new location. We're renovating it to move all of the school's operations downtown, and we wanted to move our collection early because this is a historical building. It has one small elevator, one entrance and exit, and it would have been impossible to move out all the faculty furniture and the books during 1 week at Christmas time, so we decided to move the books early. We have about 10,000 feet of books, which is about 90,000 actual book volumes. We're going to move about 90%, 95% of the collection now. We're going to keep the materials that students and faculty use very frequently here, the reference collection. We'll keep that here until December when the entire school moves downtown. Everybody is extremely excited about this move. We're going to be down in the heart of the legal community. So many opportunities to connect our students and faculty with all the exciting things that are going on downtown. Everybody's really excited about it. A lot of our students already live in very close proximity to that building, and a lot of our new students and prospective students are interested in that area, the Midtown area, the downtown area. So universally, everyone is really looking forward to and is excited about this move.
Some nice shooting and editing by our Grayson Cook on that piece. About 50 kids were invited to a back-to-school festival complete with games, treats, and new school supplies involving those kiddos who live at the City Rescue Mission.
Now, one more time.
Today is our back-to-school bash for all the children that live here at City Rescue Mission. We have a group called One Beloved that has partnered with us to bring all of these activities, and there's face painting inside, and cotton candy, and snow cones, and all the games and funs. We've got the dunk tank. And the thing that we're trying to do is to show these kids. We have about 100 children that live here at City Rescue Mission right now, and what we're finding is that these kids, as they go back to school, we want them to go back full of life, full of joy. They might be facing some real challenges in their personal life with their families, having to be homeless, but you know what? They're children and they need to enjoy the summer. They need to go back to school feeling really excited about how they spent their summer. So this is just a fun day. There's school supplies, backpacks, all kinds of, we have the uniforms that they have to wear in school, and we're providing all of that for them. Our many donors and partners that have donated to make this possible for these children.
All right, come on. Come back in.
And one more compelling story to tell you before we go to break. Bree Johnson was among several children at Special Care who performed a play for an enthusiastic crowd of family members, friends, and educators. We ran this piece last week on NewsOK.com, and it's worth another look.
Feeling like you're special, feeling like you're beautiful in your own way, and don't let anybody get you down just because you don't look as beautiful as everybody else. You know you're beautiful inside. It's what counts, inside then outside.
Bree Johnson has been going to Special Care, a specialized daycare and education center, since she was 15 months old. Bree has spinal muscular atrophy, which causes weakness and wasting of the voluntary muscles in the arms and legs of infants and children. Without Special Care, Bree's family would have limited options of where she could go for similar care. After a talent show at Special Care, Bree talked about what the school means to her.
Friends. They're kind of like family. Fun and funny people here. And it's pretty awesome. I also have a boyfriend.
A boyfriend?
Yes, I have a boyfriend.
Oh.
It's awesome here and wonderful here and amazing here and did I say amazing already and wonderful?
You did, but I can emphasize amazing.
Amazing!
Special lady right there. When we come back, remember Beverly's Chicken in the Rough? What about Harold's The Clothing Store? We visit both, still ahead.
Social media gives readers a voice that they can interact with us in a way that I don't think they've ever been able to. And it allows us to, include their thoughts and their questions and everything in our content.
Whereas we used to just publish and just tell everybody what the news and entertainment and information was. The rest of the world wants to engage. They want to talk back. They want us to talk back to them. They want insight, they want opinion, and a lot of that is new culturally for a newspaper.
The concept of the What's It Like is that we want to explain basic medical procedures to our readers. There's been a lot of interest in the series. We'll have people who write me who have had something done, but they didn't know that was how it was done because they were asleep. I've had people who have the procedure done and they'll write me and say, yeah, that's what happened. And so it's been really interesting.
The remnants of Oklahoma's lost fried chicken empire can be seen on the walls of the last surviving Beverly's restaurant in a strip mall on Northwest Expressway. The Oklahoman's Brianna Bailey continues her look back at stores from Oklahoma's past.
Beverly started this restaurant with the notion that he had the finest breakfast in town. He was very high on the quality of his food. He was the atmosphere of the restaurant. You know, when you went to a Beverly's restaurant, it was an occasion. It wasn't just, well, you're going out to breakfast and going about your day. You know, when you came to a Beverly's restaurant, it was made you feel like you were coming to an event.
Whether you're rich or poor, or you just wanted a dessert, or you wanted to get together socially, it was just a good place to get together.
For the older generation, it was a big part of their life. It was a tradition, you know, whether it had been every weekend or a couple nights a week that they went out. They remember, even as a child, their parents bringing them to Beverly's and them you know. And of course, Beverly did a lot of different things for the kids. He used to, you know, he had a toy chest. So if you finished your meal, he'd give you a little coin. You got so many coins, you got to pick something out from the toy chest. You know, so he was really an exceptional person as far as, you know, being able to have a restaurant and then market it in such a way where, you know, everybody wanted to come back. We're lucky that we have a steady clientele that's they're loyal to Beverly's restaurant. They come in here, they know what they want. You know, when you provide a good product, you don't have to come up with a gimmick to get people in here.
And many Oklahomans will remember the rise and fall of Harold's clothing chain. Here's Mr. Powell telling our Brianna Bailey about his once prosperous business.
Opened our first store in 1948. I graduated in August of 48 and I opened our first store in September of 48. When I opened our first store, it was a men's only. There were 5 men's stores on the campus corner in 1948. I think at least 5 ladies stores. But most of the campus corner was pretty much the same. The style from across the United States was not consistent. There was a California influence, and then there was an influence from the East Coast, and this part of the country at that time was more influenced by California styling. Mm-hmm. And I was aware that in your Ivy League colleges had a way of dress that was far more conservative than the rest of the country. I had sold a significant amount of my stock in 1995. And then Becky and Lisa also sold stock at that secondary offering. And I was, at the time, of course I lost what other stock I had, but I was okay financially. So when they acquired controlling interest of the company, well, Becky stayed with the company for 4 years, and Rainey and I were no longer with the company.
I remember shopping at Harold's back in the day, but I don't think I've ever been to Beverly's though. Perhaps that needs to change. When we come back, we do some Caribbean cooking. Our latest Open Flame session involved the food dude Dave Cathy and his friends at the American Propane Cabana.
I'm Dave Cathy, the food dude, and yes, it's July, but you would not know it by looking outside. It's as close to Christmas in July as we've ever been here at Open Flame, but we're gonna do a Caribbean theme anyway. So tonight I got help from Chef Ryan Parrott to put together this big Caribbean feast. We're going to be featuring Cubanos. We're going to be featuring black beans and rice. We've got shrimp. We've got Jamaican jerk chicken. It's going to be a great night. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Allison, your neighborhood Homeland's registered dietitian. Homeland's a proud sponsor of Open Flame at American Propane. Today I've made for you a sunny Caribbean black bean dip with a lot of jalapenos, a little bit of sweet with the mango sauce, and a little bit of salsa, as well as we use some Greek yogurt to make it lightened up rather than all cream cheese.
Marinated some shrimp. I'm going to do like a grilled shrimp with a kind of a Caribbean style curry, like you think of like an Indian curry, but it's more of a Caribbean style, just a little bit different, but same kind of basic concept. We're kind of doing some smoked chicken and some beans and rice, some black beans, and kind of doing those together. So the pineapple is going to be a pineapple chow, which is kind of a sweet and spicy pineapple that'll garnish the shrimp with.
Well, we welcomed the rain in July, as we always do in Oklahoma, but it didn't stop us from pulling off a pretty cool Caribbean party tonight. We even snuck in some smoked bananas that I failed to mention earlier, which were also pretty delicious. You'll find the recipes for everything that we did tonight at NewsOK.com.
Well, I'm sorry I missed that shoot. I love some spicy food and Caribbean seasoning. Plenty of Open Flame videos online at NewsOK.com and restaurant videos in general. In fact, I'm working with Dave Cathy to compile short videos of all the food trucks in the metro, and there's over 50 of them. Now, before we leave, here's Chris Griffin to tell us about Make Someone Smile Week, which was actually last week. But smiling is good every week, so here you go.
A picture can tell 1,000 words, but a smile can tell even more. At the Village on the Park retirement home, smiles were in full bloom.
This is a national campaign in conjunction for Teleflora. We partner with flower shops across the country, and we deliver smiles for their national Make Someone Smile Week campaign. Actually getting to the individuals that, whether they're shut in, whether they're disabled, and they don't get a lot of human contact, they're confined in their apartments for the most part, and just seeing that smile. I think it's just that there's a lot of people out there, whether they're in a nursing home, in the hospital, that they just want to feel that somebody cares and it's like picking up the phone and calling someone. We just don't do it like we used to. And that knock on the door with somebody with flowers and they just light up and smile. And it's that moment of feel good.
And that's it. Over a dozen videos in the past 30 minutes. There are over 35,000 more online at NewsOK.com if you're interested. But that's all for this show. Thanks for watching and have a great week, everyone.